Around 12,000 years ago, the foundations of modern society were formed. The appearance of agriculture and animal husbandry has profoundly changed the relationship that humans have with each other and with nature. Antiquity is the era of the first great civilizations. In the Mediterranean basin, the most prestigious were successively Egypt, Greece and then Rome. In France, which will take the name of Gaul, history begins with the Celts who settle in the territory between the Rhine, the Alps and the Pyrenees from 450. With the campaigns of Julius Caesar, Gaul goes become Roman. From an occupied country, it will become a prosperous and flourishing region enjoying the Pax Romana, before being the last bastion of the Western Roman Empire submerged and destroyed by the great invasions. Cooking is born when eating ceases to be a simple necessity to become an art of living. This revolution probably appeared as soon as fire was discovered, which not only allowed grilling and roasting but also encouraged people to take meals together. The addition of small quantities of products that significantly change the taste and preservation of food is an important step in the evolution of food and the history of cooking. Salt, in particular, plays an essential role in food preservation. The use of cooking utensils, flat stones, leather skins, pottery, diversifies cooking methods and limits the risk of burning food. Pottery will promote the generalization of a new culinary technique, boiling. The man begins to use the fats and transforms the cereals into flour to make pancakes. From then on, nothing stood in the way of culinary inventiveness except the mastery of food resources, that is to say the invention of agriculture and animal husbandry. The civilizations that were the first to master them were also the first to codify food preparations, to recognize the cook as an important person. In Mesopotamia, then in ancient Egypt, cooking became an art in its own right, the banquet a sumptuous rite, appealing to all the senses. In its most prosperous period, Roman civilization borrowed a lot from the Greeks and later the Egyptians, to develop many recipes and take its culinary art to new heights. The use of honey, pine nuts, frying, wine, many vegetables, olive oil, cheese, pudding, sweet and savory omelette, fruits, meats and spices come from the entire area of influence of the empire and even further afield contributed to extending the range of dishes. However, corn and wheat remain staple foods for the common Romans, including for the army. Under the empire and with the decadence of mores, the extravagant gluttony and luxury of the dishes served became the characteristic of the Roman table. These gastronomic splendors, where the taste of food was less important than the rarity and abundance, will soon be forgotten. If it is not an increasingly precise ritualization of banquets, the main heritage of the Romans was the culture of olive oil and the taste for wine. We are ultimately quite poorly informed about the culinary culture of the Celts and the Gauls because the rare stories that have come down to us are the work of Roman authors, for whom they were barbarian peoples, therefore execrable. From the fall of the last Roman Emperor Romulus Augustulus in the 5th various dishes follow one another. There can be up to 6, or even more, regularly separated by what are logically called desserts. Shows are offered to the guests. It is the beginning of the so-called French service.